it's Disney update time. So many people have been asking me to do this video, and the problem is a lot of these things are a secret and the kids don't know, and the kids are always around, so I haven't been able to film this video. So I will get into it now. So first and foremost, we are going to Disney. We will be going to Disney the last week of April into a little bit of May. That is our vacation. That's just when a time works for us. There was a time when we were going to push it back. We weren't sure. We were going to do Memorial Day weekend. Once we kind of realized that we were going to be selling our house and stuff like that, and you know, our life may change a little bit the next like 2 years once we move. You know, my husband starting a new job in a new place in a new state with a different income and stuff like that. Us having sales tax and state tax and all this stuff, you know, it may take us a little while to get where we are now financially. So we may not be back to Disney for a little while. Or if we do go to Disney, it may be, oh, let's just go for a weekend type of situation. You know, we may not get to have these long, nice trips for us anymore. So we finally decided, okay, since we're going to put the house on the market, let's just do one last hurrah. And, you know, we'll see what 2017 brings us in the way of Disney, but at least we got one good trip in before all the chaos. So now that we've pushed our moving date up about a year, 9 months, it is a little bit stressful, and I won't lie, I'm not as like excited and into it as I have been with the other trips because my mind is so hyper focused on the house. So I haven't been that like insane Disney planner that I normally am, and it's good and bad, I think. But you know, I mean, I know that once we get there, it'll be so nice to be able to walk away from the house for a week and a half and just really have fun and, you know, dive into things and just enjoy our trip. So we are going for 9 days and 8 nights. The beauty of this trip is we are going to be arriving into Orlando by 9 o'clock in the morning on that first day, and then we will not be leaving Orlando on the last day until around like 9 o'clock at night. So due to our arrival and departures, we are truly maxing our time while we are in Florida. It's going to be awesome. We have never been able to get there early. You know, even our first trip, we got there, I want to say we arrived at like 10 or 11 in the morning, but there was us and another family traveling, and by the time we all got there and got situated, because we had like a really horrible beginning to our trip, it was like 4 o'clock, so we didn't even get to do anything. So we're so excited to get there early and like possibly do a park on the day that we get there. That's just awesome. So we are arriving on a Monday and we're leaving on a Tuesday of the following week. So we have like, you know, one weekend in there and then quite a few weekdays. So we feel that might be a little bit better where we're not doing 2 sets of weekends like last time, where it does get really, really busy on Saturdays. Sundays, I don't feel that they're as busy. And then Mondays are horrible at the Magic Kingdom. And I guess what it is because everyone arrives on a Saturday or Sunday, and like that's typically the first park. So we're kind of glad to be avoiding that a little bit. So how are we getting there? We are flying this time. I was able to find Southwest had some like $99 flights, and they've actually lowered them a few times to $88, but they still don't have enough tickets for all of us. So we paid $99 per person per way, which wasn't too bad when you figure in that's 2 sets of luggage for everybody. You know, there's no fees or anything when we get there. It's like we're paying $99 and that's it. And then how I saved a little bit of money was, so each way was, sorry, I'm just doing quick math on my phone, was $5.94. So what I did was I bought, so that comes to $11.88, almost $1,200. So if you buy your gift cards for Southwest on Target.com, I don't know what that was. you save 5%, which is almost $60. It's $59.40. So that brought our total down, $60 already. And so then I bought Target gift cards on raise.com, and I got them all for like between 5 and 6%. So that was another about $60. So I basically got one of our ways, or one person's one way for free, doing it that way. So we ended up paying about $10.75 for our tickets, which was really, really cool. And the only thing you have to keep in mind with that is you can only do 4 forms of payment. So I bought like Jeff and the boys together, I bought me and the girls together, and I did each way that way so that I could use the gift cards and not, I think I had to pay like $5 or something like that on my debit card besides the gift cards. So that was pretty cool. It was a great deal. We did it before we knew we were moving because, I didn't really want to put more wear and tear on my car. My car is an older car, and it is low mileage. I have very low miles on my car, but it's just one of those situations where you don't want to rack up a ton of miles on your car. Not to mention, last time I was a mess. I wanted, here, our car repair fees are so minimal because my husband just takes my car into work. If my car were to ever break down to the point that you couldn't drive it, we have AAA, and it AAA's to my husband's job. We have like 100 miles, I think, around us. So I'm never more than 100 miles away. So I know that we can always get my car towed for free. He takes it to work, and he can normally fix it for, I think the most we've paid on parts is like $100. By buying parts discount, getting them at his discount, whatever. So I was a nervous wreck at thinking something in my car was going to break or go wrong, and we were going to be out like thousands of dollars because we would have to pay somebody to fix our car. I was a mess. And then, as you know, we had all those issues with my sensors and stuff right before our trip last time. And literally the week and a half before we left, my husband was out there every single day trying to figure out what the heck was going on because my car was running too lean and too rich and all this stuff. And it was just like, it was so stressful. And then, we drove down there, and I think we paid about $600 for gas, fast food, and stuff like that. And then we did rent a hotel on the way down, which is another, I think, $120, something like that. So in the grand scheme of things, we spent like $700 to $800, going like $750, we'll say, going down there and coming back, for gas and everything. And then, the biggest thing for us is, my husband basically lost out on 2 to 3 days of pay. So we left early on a Friday morning. We got to North Carolina at around 7 that night. We had a horrible night's sleep. We all got maybe like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. And then we got up super early in the morning, and we drove to Disney, and we were there by noon. We just did like downtown Disney swimming that day, but we were so exhausted. I remember we were at Wolfgang Puck's, and my kids were all breaking down. And we were there with my dad. It was the first time my dad had met Casey and Ellie, and he was being awesome about it because he knew that the kids had been driving for 24 hours. They had 4 hours of sleep, and then, whatever. And then our first day at Magic Kingdom, we were all still exhausted, really super tired. Casey was breaking down left and right because he was so tired. Casey's not a kid that naps, but he needs his 8 o'clock to 6:30. He needs that sleep, or he is a lion. And he is not one that he can sleep in cars and stuff like that. If he falls asleep in a car, it's very, very rare. So I felt like we lost that first day and a half of our vacation because we were so tired. And then, I'm not gonna lie, the entire time we were at Disney, I'm counting down oh God, we have 10 more days till we have to drive again, 9 more days till we have to drive again, 8 more days till we have to drive again. And then, the day that we left, so, checkouts at 11 or something like that, had we flown or something, we could have stayed at the parks all day and enjoyed it, but we literally got up that morning. The only reason we didn't get up earlier was because my husband had lost a very expensive hat on Tower of Terror, and they had it at the, lost and found, but that's, I guess, at the Ticket and Transportation Center. So the only reason that we stayed until 9 o'clock was because we had to wait for them to open, but we were on the road by 9 o'clock in the morning. So I felt like we lost a lot of Disney time, and then, so we left on a Tuesday, I believe, so we drove that whole day. We got home Wednesday super early in the morning at 10:30 or 11, And then we had that day off too because everyone was still tired and exhausted. And in all honesty, we came home and none of us could fall asleep because it was morning. It was, regular time. So we all went to bed pretty early that night. I'd say like 7 or 8 o'clock. But then we still needed like another day almost of rest. Like we were still really off of our game that day. So that was really hard. And we've had some issues with our kids' schools. So we were thinking driving. Okay, we have to take the kids out this trip, it would have been Friday. And then another like 2 more days out of school, if not 3. So it was just one of those things that, no, I don't know. It just wasn't going to make sense for us. And for us to get the price that we did, where it was a little bit more, but in all honesty, when you factor in that my husband doesn't have to use 2 more days of vacation time, it's a lot less. So that's why we chose to fly. Sorry, that was really, really long-winded to say why we had to fly. But we haven't told the kids yet. We're just telling them that we're driving still, because we're flying out of Providence, Rhode Island. So we still have about an hour and a half to 2 hour drive. So we're just gonna get in the car like we're going, have all their bags all packed as they're in the car road trip bag, but it's gonna be their carry-on, and we're just gonna be like, let's not anyone touch anything, until the sun comes up, because our flight leaves super early in the morning. So we're just gonna drive there and then be like, surprise, we're flying, and we just cut your trip by like 23 hours. So I think that they are all gonna be so excited. I think Trevor somehow knows. Jeff and I haven't mentioned anything about it, and like, I don't know, somehow I think he knows. Maybe he doesn't, but that's just me. But if he wants to snoop and ruin his surprise, then sucks to be him. So there's that. And then, so since we're flying, we're no longer staying at the cabins because it obviously doesn't make sense where we don't have a car there. You really need a golf cart. And for us to rent a golf cart, we need 2 of them, and it's really expensive. And then for us, the main thing was, we can have groceries and da-da-da-da. Well, if we're not driving, we're not going to rent a car to buy groceries, because that's going to, negotiate that, or that's going to bring that cost down. So we looked around and we decided to go back to Art of Animation. So I had originally booked my trip kind of weird, because we were going to do the dining plan and we were going to do it 2 different ways. So we actually have 2 different reservations at Art of Animation. So one of them we couldn't get the Lion King suite for, so it's for a family suite. So I'm really hoping that they put us in Lion King or Nemo. But if they put us in Cars, then it is what it is. And then our second one is actually for Lion King, but whatever they put us in the first one, I'm going to ask them if they can make our Lion King one that way too, so that we don't have to switch rooms midway or whatever. So we haven't told the kids about that either, and I think that they'll be very excited. Jeff and I, we went to Art of Animation twice when we were staying there in December when we stayed at Pop. And we just realized why we fell in love with that resort. It's just so nice and in-your-face Disney, and the kids really loved it. And and I know people love it. We don't like Pop. We don't. And everyone is entitled to liking whatever resort they want to. It just doesn't do it for us. Yes, it's just a place to sleep, but when you've been there twice and both times you've had these really weird issues go on and you don't like the way that they're handled, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. We just don't like it. We would stay at Pop if it was like cooler, we wouldn't be using the pool, and we would literally be in the parks all the time, and we were driving. But after everything that happened last time, I don't want them touching my luggage. And with all the I don't know, it's just not for us. So really excited to show the kids Art of Animation. I don't think Ellie remembers Art of Animation, so I think it'll be really cool for her to get to see all that again. I think she'll love it. And last time I didn't even walk around the resort. Like every night I would come in and just be preparing for the next day or whatever. So I want to go to the Cars pool. I want to see the Lion King area. I want to go to the Little Mermaid pool and all that stuff. So there's where we're staying. Okay, and so then the dining plan. So everyone is asking me, what are you doing with the dining plan? Why did you decide not? Da, 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 da. Okay,